through some tricks now. I'm getting nervous.
Oh, you're gonna be fine, child. It'll be done before you know it. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Hello, everybody. So we're here. Real women are back. So, it's been a couple of weeks. We gave you a recording 1 week, but we are back and on schedule to have some guests with us starting tonight. I am just so excited for this conversation, but can you do me a favor? Can you go ahead and share? Let someone know that we're here. Let us know you're here watching, and then share this out with someone. I'm going to do the same. We're not officially supposed to start until 8 o'clock. And so I'm going to start my sharing right now. And I'm hoping that you're going to do the same. Let someone know that we're on. We are about to have a real conversation. And I know most of us could use that at this time where we are right now. And so let's get on. We're going to probably laugh, maybe cry a little bit, but we're going to do it together. So
Got my tissue.
I know, right? I got my tissue too, Donna. I'm ready. We know what our session is. So we're about to give you all a sneak peek into a Real Women session, and we would love for you to join us. Stay tuned for it. This is not just an opportunity for us to talk to you. It really is an opportunity for you to engage with us with questions. We would love to hear any questions that you have for us. Put them in the chat. Any talking back and forth you want to do to each other. We love it. We absolutely love it. Hey, Robin, come on in. So share this out. Let someone know that we're on. Loves, hugs. Hey there, Tasha. We just appreciate you all tuning in tonight. We've got 3 minutes left for you to share, but I'm going to go ahead and get started with some announcements because I think these are important for you to know. First of all, my name is Trinace Richardson, and I am the founder of Real Women, and we are a 501c3 nonprofit that exists to create safe spaces for women to do personal development work on themselves. You have all of these places you can go for professional development, for ministry development. We are about the whole woman, and we start from the inside out, and we want to make sure that you are personally developed, mind, body, and soul and spirit. And so in order for us to do that, we host virtual sister circles in this season of remote everything. We have transitioned to all things virtual. We do want to let you know that we do host physical sister circles in the DC, Maryland, Northern Virginia, and Hampton Roads, Virginia area under normal circumstances. But because we are in this virtual space and required to do so across the world right now, we host a virtual sister circle at least twice a month. And so on April 25th, which is a Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're hosting our last April Sister Circle, and you will see that information posted everywhere on all of our social media pages, Real Women Rock or Real Women Rock, the number 2. And then you'll see it on our website, realwomenrock.org. Again, realwomenrock.org. So please check us out. You don't have to go anywhere. You could just be in the comfort of your own home when you check us out on our virtual Sister Circle, Saturday, April 25th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've been having a ball in those virtual sister circles. We've been crying up a storm and laughing and giggling and talking to each other and really helping each other grow and develop personally. So we hope to see you there. In this session, we endeavor to give you a sneak peek into a real conversation with real women. Every woman that we invite to share and have a conversation with just keeps it real with us, whether she's talking about her business, her personal life, her marriage, her challenges, whatever her weight, whatever her financial situation, whatever the situation is, we take it from a very real, authentic perspective so that we can have an honest conversation and grow and get better together. So that's what we're about to do. I see so many of you are on. Let us know that you're here. Say hello to us so that we can say hello back. And as you hear us talking, please ask us questions. My guest tonight, I'm starting right on time, Donna. My guest tonight, for those of you who are in our Real Women community, and there are so many of you who are, please say hello to Donna. Y'all know Donna. Donna is really was our first lifetime member, and that means she invested in herself, a deep investment in order to be a part of Real Women for as long as she ever wants to be. And we so appreciate her level of investment, her level of involvement. She has given of herself to be a part of Real Women. And so that's the very first thing I wanted to say about her, that she is one of those valued members of our community. But in addition to that, Donna has blessed me personally so much because of how real and authentic she is. There is absolutely no one, and I put it in my intro for her, there's no one that I've met who is more authentic, more real and honest about what she's been through and how she's dealt with it. And so I'm gonna stop talking because I'm gonna keep talking about you soon. You got some hellos in here, but I would love for you to say hello to everybody, Donna, and please share with us anything you'd like to share about yourself personally or professionally.
Hello, everybody, all my sisters, my Real Women sisters. I'm so happy to be here with y'all tonight. I don't know actually what to share so much. You know, I'm in my 60s and I've been through so much that I honestly don't know what to share with you all, but I am here to say that I am open to any questions y'all have, anything you want to know about me, because if I start talking about my life from the beginning, we could be on here all night. Yeah. So I'm going to leave the questions up to you all.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm glad. So we have had this conversation already, and we know how many places we can go. So what I said to Donna was, is anything off limits? Donna said no. So I'm ready to roll if you are, Donna.
I'm ready.
Okay. So what I put in the intro, and I want y'all to hear me now. Okay. Hey, Tulsa, come on in. I want y'all to hear this, because if you have personally, or if someone you love close to you has been through divorce, broken relationships, any level of abuse, mother-daughter issues, deep depression, health issues, any of those things, you are talking to the right woman tonight. Because Donna, from the rooter to the tutor, I'm showing my Virginia side now, from the rooter to the tutor, Donna has been through some things and has the t-shirt to prove it. And so so thank you. I did the introduction, but I will definitely do it again for you, because we have some new folks visiting us. My name is Trinace Richardson, and this is a weekly conversation based on our Real Women membership community. And we exist to create safe spaces for women to do personal development work on themselves. So every week we endeavor to have a guest on where we have a conversation about some real stuff that women are dealing with. And so as it relates to this conversation, I just shared with you, Donna has been through so much. She's already just amended. Yes, absolutely. And so she has just amended. And as a result of that, we're going to start by asking her some questions. So I want to start, Donna, by asking you, and I'm just going to go straight there, right? I want to ask you, what do you feel is the most traumatic thing that you have had to endure? What if you had to look back over your life, because women are listening right now, and you know, all of us go through something and all of us have a story to tell. And so with you being willing to share yours, I know someone will be able to relate to the worst of the worst. What have you been through that you would consider the most traumatic?
I would say the most traumatic thing for me was relationship had to do with relationships, family relationships, not so much husband or anything like that, but the discord or the disconnect that came about between me and my children and me and my siblings. So that was hard for me because I felt like I was alone. And I had to constantly stand on the word of God and say, you know, God always has a ram in the bush. So even though it was not my blood family or my immediate family that was there for me, it was someone there for me. But it wasn't until I let go of my pride and started asking for help, because I've always been so independent. I would never ask for anybody for anything. So what you saw on the outside was this confident, altogether woman, but on the inside, I would come home and cry and break down all by myself. And I had to realize that it doesn't have to be my family, and that I'm by myself because nobody knows what I'm going through. I never shared it. I just kept up as this strong persona, but I needed someone. And so I think that was the hardest for me. And it was the hardest because you always expect your loved ones or the people that you do the most for to be the one to reciprocate when you need something. But it wasn't that way for me.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And I think for those of us who have children or any family members, when, you know, you can take hurt from folks that you barely know. Hurt is hurt. It always hurts no matter what level it is, but you can almost take it from folks you know. But when either you experience hurt from those you love the most or those that are the closest to you, or you inflict hurt on those who are the closest to you and whom you love the most, those are the deepest, I believe, the deepest wounds, the most traumatic. And so I love that you started there, and I'm just going to go there, right? So I'm asking you all in the chat, remember, this is a conversation. If you really feeling safe in here, because this is a safe space, if you wouldn't mind sharing something, it can be as general as you'd like. Was it family? Was it children? Was it marriage? But what is the most traumatic thing you've had to deal with as we talk through Donna's? Because someone has already asked how you overcame it, but I want to dig into it for a second. And while I'm doing that, you all can share what your traumatic experiences have been so that we can talk through how to overcome it and deal with it together. So I want to dig into this a little bit, Donna, because this is what I remember. I remember being introduced to you, knowing your daughter first, and then being introduced to you through Real Women. And as a result of that, finding out in our safe Real Women spaces that there had been this wedge between you and your daughter for various reasons. And it was as a result of the conversations and the learnings and the growings that took place inside of our Real Women circles that we were literally able to see you all come together and heal. And so if you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about kind of what those kinds of hurts and divides look like was it just stubbornness on everybody's part? Was it words said? Was it, what did the hurt look like? So when you talk about overcoming it, we can celebrate with you.
Well, the hurt for me was the lack of communication or respect for the other person's viewpoint. And so, for example, me and my daughter were living together, and I see her, yes, I said, you are my child, but you are not a child. So when we're living together, I see you as an adult. You can't be a child when it's comfortable for you and be an adult when it's comfortable for you. And for me, I'm kind of a no-nonsense, tough love person. So she wasn't receiving where I was coming from, and I didn't have any understanding into where she was coming from or how she perceived me as a mother or what I should be. It was just point blank, this is how I am, this is the way it's going to be, and that's just all. You living in my house. Now, if you can't go by my rules and regulations, you got to go. And it got to the point where the air was in here was so thick you can cut it with a knife. And it hurt on both parts, but it was a lot of stubbornness involved, because I remember one Pacific situation where we got into it, and we were in here and no words were said at all, coming and going. Nothing was said at any time to each other. And when she broke down in tears, and she was like, "Mama, what did I do? I don't understand why you're not talking to me." And she was literally begging me to talk to her. And my stubbornness, I went several more days without still talking to her, and until I just broke down myself. It's like, okay, I couldn't see my baby hurting anymore. So we started talking. But even in the talking, we still didn't come together and see each other's perspective. So she asked me to go to counseling. And as a mother, even if I don't feel like I need counseling, if it's necessary for my child to get her healing, I'll go. And so I went, but it really didn't help us. And even with it wasn't until we came to Real Women. She came first, and she said, "Trinice has a discount out there. You need to join." And I told her, okay, but I didn't. And she stayed on me until I joined. And I joined. And it wasn't until we came to several meetings after we came that the healing process started to take place, because we were still at it, at odds, even in those meetings. Yeah. So communication is key, and open, honest communication, and take time to listen to one another, to try to understand, see the other person's perspective.
And I'm so glad you said it that way. And you're helping somebody, Donna, because there are a couple of people up here who have said family is their traumatic issue that they're dealing with right now. And I know what everybody else wasn't able to see is your beautiful daughter has not only been a guest on this show. Y'all can go to our YouTube page and check out hers, because she was able to talk about her journey as a daughter and as a woman. But in addition to that, she was right there with you a second ago and going to get groceries for you and everything. And so y'all are in such a much more beautiful space right now. And what I hear you saying is your stubbornness, your hard-heartedness, her, between wanting to be a grown woman and wanting to be your daughter, and those things, just all of that collided to the point where you all weren't talking to each other and trying to see each other's heart and perspective. And I love that you put yourself in a position, even if you personally didn't think you needed it, you put yourself in a position, both with counseling and with Real Women, to be open to hearing some other thoughts and to open your heart. And so I think it doesn't help any of us in any spaces that we're in, but especially family, if we do the same thing we've always done, because we're going to get the same results we've always gotten. And so I love that you were willing to do something different. Before we get to your overcoming, we had issues with daughters. Oh my goodness, it's a lot of family issues. See how God does? We knew we could talk about a whole lot of stuff, right? But it's kind of landed on family as a result of us talking about it. But I also wanted to talk about the fact that it led you, or I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, but I know you went through a lot of deep depression. We're going to talk about what happens on the other side of it, but I'm asking you all in the chat, if as a result of your family issues, your relationship issues, your traumatic experiences, if you have dealt with depression. And I will talk about it from my perspective too, Donna, but I wanted you to talk about it because you have given us in Real Women such a vivid picture of what depression looks like when you're not taking care of yourself. Could you talk about that a little bit?
It was a lot of things that led up to my depression. I really believe I dealt with it off and on all my life, but the breaking point started with my mother's death. It's not that my mother's dying wasn't the breaking point for me. It was how my family reacted to me as a result of my mother's death, because I was the head of our family, so I made all the decisions. And the things that came out of my loved one's mouth towards me was really hurtful. And then on from there, I just started spiraling downhill because I got in a car accident. I lost a lot of my independence, And that, as I said, at that point, because we weren't closed or anything, I didn't have anybody there for me. And when I did ask for help with my family members, it was always, how much you gonna pay me? And I'm thinking, you know, I've been there for you all your life, never asked for a penny, was just, if I had it, you had it. Mm-hmm. And because that wasn't reciprocated, it took me really down into the deep depression that I went into, the point where I could barely function going to work. And I would miss days and days on end. And the blessing is, I always say God has a ram in the bush, because I had supervisors that supported me the whole time. So, because I literally don't know how I kept my job. I'm still on it now. Mm-hmm. But, and it got to the point where I literally laid in this house 6 days upstairs in my bedroom. I didn't eat. I didn't do anything but get up out the bed and go to the bathroom. Didn't bathe, didn't anything. Mm. And around about the 6th day, I think one of my girlfriends who used to check on me all the time informed my pastor. And it was about that point that my pastor asked me, was I okay? And I told her no. She said, do I need to come see about you? And I said, yes. Mm. And she put everything in process to get me to a hospital to see a psychiatric social worker. And they literally, from everything that was going on with me, they literally said, you can either go in the mental institution voluntarily or forcibly, but you're going. Mm-hmm. And I went in and I was in there for over a week or so, and which was still amazing, because I was going through my stuff, and God just showed me that he could use you in the middle of your mess, because I went in there fighting for the rights of other people and ministering to other people. And I'm like, God, I'm here for me. What are you doing? I need the help. But that's not the way he used me. And when I came out, I was still out for like 2 months. But you have to have a made up mind. One, do you want to be healed? Do you want to be healed? Mm-hmm. And I literally had to tell the psychiatrist every time he asked me, he said, do you feel like committing suicide? Do you feel like hurting somebody else? Or do you want to lay down and go to sleep and not wake up? And he asked me that about 3 times, to at some point something rose up in me and said, no, I do not want to kill myself. I do not want to kill anybody else. And no, I don't want to lay down and go to sleep and die. That would be a nice way to go, but I'm not ready to leave this earth yet. So please don't ask me that anymore. And I got to the point where I made sure, I was like, if I'm asleep, wake me up. I'm going to every session, anybody's session, everything. And that kind of lifted my spirits. So I got to the point, I said, look, I can't heal in here. There's nothing y'all can do for me in here. And I came home and I started getting back into my word real heavy and coming to Real Women. And for me, they work hand in hand. You know, for me, they work hand in hand. Real Women gave me so many tools to apply to my life. It also helped me to make the word of God come alive in me.
Oh, you blessing me. You blessing me. Donna, there are so many people relating to what you're sharing right now. When we're done, you're going to have to go back to the chat just so that you can see how many folks not only relate, but are appreciating you for sharing. I just want to roll back a little bit to some of what you said, because not only can depression be, this functioning thing where you go to work and you're still smiling at people and you're still going to church and all that kind of stuff. But some of us have dealt with it to the point where we didn't want to get out of bed, where we didn't want to shower. We didn't want to, all of those things to take care of ourselves. And so somebody needs to be able to say that out loud so that so the shame and the guilt of it can be wiped away and people can get free from it. So thank you so much for talking about the depths of your depression and how, you weren't just functioning out in the world, but you got to the point where you didn't even want to go out in the world, to the point where some folks who would look around for you had to come in and check on you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And so some folks have talked about it, whether they were functionally depressive in the chat or whether they had a deep depression. And I have seen someone in here share about suicidal thoughts. It's just all in the chat. Thank you all so much for feeling free to share, because we all need to wipe the stigma away that mental illness is not real and it's just the devil. And it's no, we all need not only, some people need medicine, some people need, you got to the point where you were like, it was your will to be healed and to be free. But some people need the medicines and the psychiatric wards and those kinds of things. And they can be used to bring us back to a healthier place. So I don't, discount the use of those things in any way, shape, or form. But I love what you said, because it was when you got in a community of women who allowed you to feel safe enough to kind of share your stuff, and that you coupled that with the word of God and how you were growing spiritually. You were also growing mind, body, and soul. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. I just wanted to recap that for y'all, because she just shared from the very beginning to the end. And so for some, I'm going to go ahead and go here, because some folks are already sharing what some of the things are that have helped them overcome. You've already mentioned getting back into your word, getting back into church, and Real Women have been a blessing to you. Are there other things that you would suggest when you think about other women who are out here who are struggling with depression and struggling with family issues, struggling with the death? I forgot to mention that, because someone mentioned it in the chat, just the bereavement and grief that comes from the loss of loved ones, or health issues to the point where they are not as independent as they used to be. All of those things can bring about some depression. What are some suggestions you have for some women?
I would suggest that, first of all, you have to ask yourself, you have to put yourself out there. This is what I would say. You have to put yourself out there. You can't be helped or healed unless somebody knows. This is something you can't do by yourself. You literally cannot do it alone, because the more closed off you become, the deeper down in depression that you become, the more suicidal you become. So you have to open up and let it out. You can't keep it in or stay closed in behind them four walls and pretend like you got it all together or you all right. And like I would say, I don't feel like going out today, or I don't feel like doing this. But it wasn't because I didn't feel like, it's not that I didn't want to, but the depression had me there. I didn't want to be bothered with anybody. I didn't have the mental capacity or the physical strength to push myself to get up and go and do. But I would have to say, you have to let somebody know that you need help. Don't be afraid to seek it out, be it counseling or whatever you do. Even meds, because even after I came out of the mental institution, I was on depression meds for a while. I'm not on them now, but I took them because I didn't want to go back there. Once I came out of that place, I was like, no, Lord, you don't have to worry about me no more. I'm not going back there. So it's whatever.
Before you go further, I have got to interject. It's two things that you said, and I'm getting old, and I want to forget it. the piece about being able to talk to someone and connect with someone, so important that you talk with someone, that you connect with someone, that you don't try to do this by yourself. I absolutely love that. That you got to get out of your own head, out of your own four walls. And when you talked about getting outside, I know we're in this space and season right now where there's not a whole lot of outside to go to, but let me tell you, I I love the distinction that you just made, because there's still sunshine, even if it's a little rain on the in the air, but there's still sunshine out there. There's still fresh air out there that you can walk around your neighborhood. You can walk and get out of your house. And the distinction between I'm just comfortable and cooped up and hibernating, and the difference between that and I'm depressed is exactly what you just said. There's a difference between I don't feel like, or I don't want to go outside right now, or I would go outside, but I just can't, or I can't go outside. I don't even want to deal with outside or deal with people. I think there's just, we have to be sensitive to where we are so that we don't mask our depression and call it something else. Because like you said, we're supposed to be the strong ones. We're supposed to be able to handle everything. And we, God forbid we break. I don't want anybody to break. I've had an emotional breakdown. I know what that's like, being in the bed and not wanting to get out. But we can feel ourselves bending, we can feel ourselves kind of going and feel like we're losing it one day, and we don't take the time to self-care and do some things for ourselves, and then the next day we're feeling the same stress, or it's compounded on each other. I just want to encourage people to do what you said. Find some folks to talk to connect with. Even in this space of everything being remote, there's virtual counseling. I believe Taraji P. Henson now has a whole little thing where she's doing mental illness and has text that you can go to. You can just go to her social media sites where you can get it free of charge, I believe. Yeah. And so there are just tons of resources out there now that are available to us, even virtually. So thank you so much for sharing that. Some suggestions in the chat. You've got to keep moving and change your mindset. Cut myself off and work it out. I'm working on a book. That's a wonderful way to work through it. Someone said home alone was really the difficult time, right? So, yep, I didn't know I had a mental illness at the time. It's important to think about those things, stopping drinking and speaking your mind. Oh, that's a good one for women. Robin mentioned speaking your mind, because oftentimes when we get to the point of bending or breaking, it's because we haven't been saying out right what was wrong with us. We kind of quell it and suppress it, and we don't talk about it, and things are bothering us in relationships, and we hold it to the point where when we finally break it out, it's blah, we throw up on everybody, right?
Yes.
So we've really got to be careful. Thank you for this. This has been such a blessing. Let me ask you this. I want to get an idea from you of just what you've talked about it a bit, but, and I haven't done this, I usually don't do this every week, but again, you're a lifetime member. For any woman who is not connected to Real Women, Donna, would you suggest that they do so, and why?
Yes, I always suggest, I talk about Real Women all the time. Yeah, and I suggest that they do it because we as women, just as women in general, we tend to tear each other down. We don't know how to lift our sisters up, to compliment our sisters, to help them feel good. There's so much jealousy and envy and all of that going on. So it makes us not want to connect with other women. But I would suggest that we get to Real Women because it's genuine. It's truly non-judgmental. I remember the first time I came, and no matter what people share, it's like if you feel led to connect to somebody, then that's who you connect with. But in the midst of sharing and somebody saying, well, I did this and I know, I did that, you put a stop to it. You said, no, that's not what it's for. It's for us to release it, to vent it out, to not be judged. Because I thought, my stuff was horrific. But I have heard some horrific stuff, and there was no judgmental, no looking at each other sideways or anything like that. So you can truly reveal your deepest, dirtiest, nastiest inner stuff, and nobody judge you for it. And then on top of that, we're given the tools that we need to help us heal. if we utilize them, you can heal. And when you come back, and somebody's there to hold you accountable. And I always say, when you come, you being held accountable, don't be trying to be phony and fake, because they already know that you jiving. You ain't been doing the work. You ain't been putting in the work. They can tell it when you open your mouth. So you better come to them correct. That you know. But it's a wonderful thing. And it's not all, even I don't come to a lot of circles, but I go back and I read the stuff that's put out there. And eat, because it's everything. It's so much. It's a vast majority, just a vast, like a fruit basket of stuff out there that you can go to and get. Or how I would say, smorgasbord. There's always something out there for somebody. It's a way for you to receive the healing and the teachings that you need, and to apply them to your life so that you can be healed. On top of that, as the organization grows, people still reach out to me when they don't see me or hear from me. So somebody is on post looking out for you.
Girl, you are doing it. And let me tell you, I am so grateful that you shared, because what's happening in the chat is that some folks are sharing some of their stuff for the first time. And I was going to put this in the chat, but I'll just say it aloud, that what happens is when we release, because this is what I've seen from you, Donna. I'll talk about Real Women in a second, but just having experience, this happens in Real Women all the time. This is what we say. We say that we are there to help women connect in a meaningful way, to grow their confidence in who they are created to be, and to become a catalyst of positive change in their life and the lives of others. And that's kind of a growth, a personal development path that we didn't even say that from the beginning. What we did was we noticed the growth happening in the women in Real Women. So for you, I have seen so much growth, to the point where you are not just here in this space, but you're always being a blessing to people around you and in the circles. But you are sharing in this space to the point where other women are sharing stuff they've never shared with anybody before. And they're sharing it right here, right now, because of what you shared. So I just wanted to say thank you for sharing all that you have. And then, your plug, honestly, it's your plug for Real Women is so authentic, because you're right. It is definitely a place of non-judgment. And what we know is whatever you have been through, even if you feel like you're the only one who's been through it, it's in the room somewhere. Somebody has been through it or worse. Yes. and so we don't allow judgment to happen in the room. And if we feel it, we deal with it, in the moment, as you just said, because it's a sacred space for us. It's a space where, as someone said in the chat, we don't get the opportunity to share like this on this level in many places. And I'm a minister, but I don't get to share like that in churches. so I get to be all of me in Real Women, and I love it. So thank you so much for what you shared. Do you have any, and I really want you to go back, because they have really been showing you some love in the chat. All of the resources and things that Donna talked about related to Real Women, you can start at realwomenrock.org. If you sign up to our email list there, you'll get regular emails from us. We are now in a virtual space, so we're not doing our physical meetings right now, but our goal is to become this sister circle near you, wherever you live in the world. We want to make sure that every woman has access to a safe space and a circle of sisters. And so for now, we can do that globally because we're meeting virtually. So no matter where you are, April 25th at 11 a.m., we encourage you to come. We're going to be talking about peace in the midst of all that we're dealing with. And so we would love for you to come April 25th, 11 a.m. On that Saturday. Thank you for allowing me to, you kind of set me up for all of that, Donna. I appreciate it. Any final words that you have for us, Donna? Any words of encouragement, anything that you had on your heart that you wanted to make sure you shared with us?
I just want to say, if you never invested in anything in your life, to invest in yourself and to start with Real Women Rock. I'm living proof that it is a blessing. It will be a blessing to you because it's been a blessing to me and still is. It doesn't matter whether you went through something 20 years ago, 30 years, childhood up to now. As long as you live this life, you're going to go through something that you're going to need to heal from. And this is the place to do it. This is the place to do it. Invest in it. Invest in it. Invest in it. I'm a lifetime member. And I'm tell you, some good benefits come with being a lifetime member. I get some good stuff.
She right. She can come up in anything she want to come up in. That's the truth.
But I have a heart for women, and especially young women. As a matter of fact, I was beating myself up because I had made up my mind that, especially for young women, I don't want anybody, like I said, I'm in my 60s and I'm just starting to heal starting to come out, becoming more authentic for the last about 5 years, I guess. And I don't want anybody to wait to get this age to heal from the pain of their past.
You talking, Donna, you talking.
And stay free. Don't wait till you get 60, 55, 60 years old to get healed. Start the process now. And so my goal is to invest in young people specifically. I did it one year and I said I want to do it every year. And I said I think I missed it last year, but it's my intent to sponsor a young woman every year, because I don't want them to stay stuck. You miss out on so much of life when you stuck. Your mess don't just affect you. It affects everybody in your life. I want to see you free. I want to see you healed. I want to see you made whole, liberated for the things of your past, and to stay liberated and be strong for the things that are to come, because some other things are going to come as long as you live this life.
That is so good. Oh, that is so good. And just because you said that, I want folks to know, you can come to our virtual sister circles free of charge. You don't have to, we talked about investment and all those. If you become a member, we also have young adult women rates for women who are in their 30 somethings and younger, so that all those benefits and stuff, they're on the website. Donna talked about them, but you can go to the website, realwomenrock.org, to find out more information. You could just become a virtual member and attend the stuff that we do like this every Wednesday, and get the newsletters, and go to our social media pages and get encouragement. Or you can become a member, and that would gain more access to benefits for you, and you can go and check it out there. Someone mentioned, we've been in New Jersey before and we're coming back. We've been in Florida. We've been in New Jersey. We come for what we've called Real Women on the Road, where we come and share our experience, our one-time experience with you. But we do want to, when all of this lifts, because it will, everything that we're going through right now is just a season. Even though it feels like a longer season than anyone expected, it's just a season. And when it's over, we will be back in New Jersey. And so if you are interested in helping us get to your area, on the Work With Us tab in the realwomenrock.org website, you can go to Work With Us and see the help become a connector. If you become a connector under there, you will help us get to your area. You don't have to pay anything to become a connector. We pay all of the expenses that are involved, but you help us connect to your area. All that information is there. Thank you so much, Donna. This has been such a blessing. You are true to your word. Every time I've ever had a conversation with you, or you've opened yourself up in a circle, you say it often. I'm an open book at this point in my life, and you were true to your word tonight, and I know you blessed so many people as a result. So thank you so much. I love you, and I'll let you know when this is up on YouTube so you can share this out with some of your young ladies. All right.
All right. Thank you. Love you too.
All right.
Love real women.
Thank you. Love you too. Y'all take care. We look forward to seeing you next Wednesday for a good 30, 35 minutes. You get an opportunity to get a sneak peek into a real conversation with real women. We'll be back next week, and we love you guys. Take care. Stay safe. Stay inside or stay 6 feet away from folk. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.